it is for his turn to reflect back to the speaker. So may I call Dr. Kandangwa to start your reflection? Thank you. It's over to you, Mr. Kandangwa. You can unmute and start.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you, sir.
Well, thank you very much for having me on this virtual talk, particularly to host cum organizer Subhash Teyung. You have done a great job and also hard work since you made the banner.
Yes.
And you more often than not amended the banner and also
Yes.
made requests to many people, to me, to Professor Dr. Govinda Tumbahang, to Dr. Ramesh Limbu, and to all the participants. First of all, let me extend my tumultuous greeting to Emeritus Professor Dr. Govinda Tumbahang. As you all mentioned that he already worked as governor of province number 1, and I think he's the second Limbu after former Speaker Subhash Chandra Nembang to successfully hold such high position in Nepal, because the post of the position of governor falls above chief minister and just below deputy prime minister. Although many Limbus managed to become ministers after the collapse of oligarchy Ranacracy, but most of the Limbus had not become cabinet minister. Just a few, I think, managed to become cabinet minister. Although a few of them became cabinet minister, that obviously falls below the chief minister and of course below the position of governor. In that sense, Dr. Tumbahang is our asset, our glory, our matter of pride, actually has added a new dimension to our history. Deserves huge thanks. Dr. Ramesh Isam Limbu, an associate professor of English literature, currently has been teaching in Pindisari campus Dharan, has written many books on various disciplines, and also has written book on Limbu folks and folklores and folktales, has been writing articles on various topics, and also has been presenting papers on various occasions on various topics. And all vibrant participants, although I haven't met some of you, I have of course met Mon Figela, Amphili scholar in person, and of course Subhash Teyung. And I think the remaining participants, I don't think that I haven't met them physically, but I heard their talk today. I saw them today virtually. Today I'm enraptured, I'm delighted, and I'm proud in having such a large number of highly educated Limbus at one platform. This is the first time I came across people like you at one platform, and this strongly proves that Limbu youth also pursuing higher education like Citizen Bounds have been doing. You all gave phenomenal talk. All were equally good, equally worth listening. But when we deal with our profession position, then I think, in my point of view, we must deal with extracurricular activities that you have to do in your schools and colleges. You guys, when receiving higher and higher secondary level educations in the schools, and colleges, I think you didn't have a vast amount of extracurricular activities like today. The teachers also were not very professional like that of today. Today, the schools have enormous amount of extracurricular activities they run. And also the teachers are more professionals. And things have changed dramatically. They have a lot more facilities to enjoy. That is why in the schools, they practice acting, singing, dancing, painting, sporting, and things like that. Because everyone is born with inherent skills and intelligence. If they don't have many skills and intelligence for many special jobs, they might have skills and intelligence in a particular field. For example, if you cannot be a doctor, you can be a good football player like Maradona. If you cannot be an engineer, you can be a very good singer like Rajesh Rai. If you cannot be a lawyer, if you cannot be a businessman like Binod Chaudhary, you of course can be like a politician like Gavan Thapa. That is why it is very important to find out such skills and intelligence of all individuals during the time they have been receiving secondary and higher secondary level educations. Because profession, there is huge difference between profession and vocation. I want to tell you about my profession. Actually, I was extremely reluctant to join any army, let alone British Army. If possible, I wanted to pursue higher education. I wanted to be an educated person in my life. But owing to my personal financial circumstances, I was forced to join the British Army. But actually, it was my compulsion, not intention. That is why I couldn't do justice to my profession. Actually, I wanted to retire much earlier than when I got retired. But since I was not qualified for pension, I had to continue to work many more years to qualify for pension, and then only I got retired. In total, I served 14 and a half years. But if you talk about my contemporaries, then they served up to 30, minimum 20 years. But I couldn't serve that long because it didn't suit my interest. It didn't suit my characteristics. It didn't suit my inborn intelligence or hereditary skills and aptitudes. That is why I was forced to do that job. There are 2-3 words regarding our profession, and there is a little bit difference between profession and vocation. Profession also needs high level of trainings and skills and high level of education. Vocation also needs, but the difference is vocation is such a profession in which your qualities, your skills, your intelligence, and your aptitude suits the best. If you have been doing just a profession, then you cannot reach your final destination. You cannot make a very huge success. But if you have been doing a vocation, that suits you the best. And then of course you can do justice to your profession. That is why, since you received your secondary and higher secondary level education maybe 2-3 decades before, and during those days, back in the day, things were totally different than now. Now, the students who have been receiving education in such schools and institutions have been enjoying huge facilities, have been involving in various types of extracurricular activities. That is why the teachers and the schools and the parents be able to find out their particular intelligence and skills, and in the future they can opt for that particular profession or vocation. Now also, although you have dedicated a lot, you have devoted your precious time, your energy, and all, and now you have reached to this point of life. I think some of you have reached to a point of already no return. However, if you have been suffering a lot of trouble to deal with your profession, then you can reconsider to change your profession and have a vocation that suits to the West. But you should be very serious because you have already dedicated a lot, your energy, your enthusiasm, your precious time, and so on and so forth. I think it is a little bit late. And apart from that, youth generation is extremely lucky because you have been enjoying such a miraculous thing like internet, social media, and mobile. These things are very powerful, having magical power. Until a few years back, these things were not until a few years back, I mean, 5 years back also, since I was living during those years in London, these things were not this much powerful. These things have not become common like that of today. And the quality of internet was very poor. Social media was also not familiar like today. That is why, being the quality of internet extremely poor, things like Googling and downloading were problematic. But today, in the last 5 years, they have dramatically improved. The quality of internet, even in Haran, let alone in London, even in Haran, is very, very good. So you can use this thing a lot, or to the extent actually it needs you. In our time, knowledge were confined to the professors only. And in this region, up to 20 years back, or maybe a little bit more than that, in the Eastern region, there were no professors. Look how things were different in the past, in our time, than your time. However, there were readers and lecturers, and they were considered the most intellectual people in the country. Unfortunately, people like us, being very ordinary students and very ordinary people, did not have access to such people. And since having all people, feudal attitudes and feudal mindset, they also would not entertain ordinary people and ordinary students. That is why, although we were extremely curious, although we wanted to work very hard to have the knowledge actually we wanted in the particular subject, we had to solve a problem. We didn't used to have such people. But in your time, since you are enjoying the extensive facility of internet, social media, and mobile, say mobile in metaphorical term, a globe. You are walking with the globe in your palm. In that sense, how lucky you are. In our time, we had to rear cattle, we had to carry load, we had to plow our fields, we had to do everything. We had to cut grass for our cattle, and lives were very hard in our time. But in your time, I think comparatively, you are in much better position. And of course, with the facility of internet, social media, and mobile, you are extremely lucky generation. That is why you don't need to go to Harvard University these days. You don't need to go to Oxford universities these days. Or you don't need to see the globally renowned professors of these universities. Since you have the globe in your palm, you can enjoy it and get the information, extensive knowledge, more extensive knowledge than the encyclopedias have, by sitting in your own room. You can extract all knowledges and informations that you want to. That is why you can do a lot more than what our generation did, because our generation did not have time. They had to do a lot of things, had to suffer financial constraint all the time, all through their life, had to struggle for that particular thing, and had to do, meanwhile, many types of jobs. Not like now. I think your parents just told you to read and write, read and write, read and write all the time. Although I heard that most of you were brought up in Hill and received your primary and secondary level educations in Hill, still things are different vis-a-vis our time. That is why our generation, although they struggled very hard, tried very hard, made every possible effort to do the best things possible. But having various difficulties, various hardships and constraints of various things, they couldn't do a lot, but actually they wanted. But you people, you guys, you are vibrant, you are promising, your talent, and you have been enjoying, above all, the facility of miraculous thing, and they are the internet, the social media, and the mobile, metaphorically, the globe, the entire globe in your palm. If you want to shine like the sun, first you have to burn like the sun. Life is not easy. There are very few people in the globe, in the world, on earth, who were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Only the princes, only the kings, and maybe few others were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. But most people, like us, are born poor, have suffered poverty, have suffered hardships, various ups and downs, and also their life story is absolutely pathetic like yours. There is a powerful and popular adage in English: the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You guys, you people, have to internalize its true meaning and have to work always your fingers to the bone. Because our generation, or say the limbo community, has high hope with your generation and upcoming generation. Because you can do a lot more than what we did, enjoying all these facilities, tremendous level of facilities, and struggling very hard, that I mentioned earlier, working your fingers to the bone all the time. You have to make significant contributions to our history, language, culture, and identity. And have to add a new dimension to our history, should be made our identity glorious like others, like Englishes, like Americans, or whoever they are on this globe. Before I conclude, I would like to mention one more thing, and that is, if you don't have money, that situation puts you in a catch-22 situation. It means if you don't have money, you cannot receive quality education. And if you cannot receive quality education, you cannot pursue, if you cannot pursue quality education, you cannot earn money. And without money, you cannot pursue higher education. That is a catch-22 situation. Without doing one thing, you cannot do another. And we all people, you also, as I heard your full of struggle story before, and more or less they are similar. That is why, as our emeritus professor, Dr. Tumbahang, always advises you, suggests you that life is very hard and we have to live a meaningful life. And to live a meaningful life and to reach the final destination of life is really absolutely full of struggles, full of hardships, and full of ups and downs. And it is not only yours and mine, as I touched upon earlier. All people except few who were born with silver spoon in their mouth have to suffer, have to undergo the same fate in life. Again, thank you very much for providing me this platform to have expressed my reflection to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kandangwa, for your overwhelming, inspirational reflection. It was really a global type of reflection and inspiration for many. And I would like to thank you a lot for your assistance in editing the